With over 4 billion Lego minifigures in existence, these pint-sized characters would form the largest nation on Earth. But how many know the man who started it all? This is the remarkable story of Ole Kirk Christiansen, the humble Danish craftsman whose relentless vision transformed a small workshop into a global empire of creativity. Stay with us as we uncover how one man's dream built an entire universe of play. Ole Kirk Christiansen was born on the 7th of April 1891 in Omvra Mark, Denmark. One of 13 children, he grew up in poverty and began working from the age of 7 to help support his family. Amid poverty, at 14, Ole discovered a lifelong passion that would shape his future. He was fascinated by his brother's woodworking skills. Eager to learn, he asked his brother to teach him the craft.
Can you show me?
All right, come here.
Under his brother's watchful eye, Ole began his journey as an apprentice. When Ole reached his 20s, he had become a master woodworker. He thought his future was set, but life was about to take an unexpected turn. Despite his passion, destiny took Ole away from the workshop and into the army. After several years in the army, Ole returned home, ready to forge his own path. On February 1st, 1916, at just 24 years old, Ole Kirk Christiansen bought the Billund Woodworking and Carpentry shop for 10,000 Danish kroner, which would be roughly $82,500 in today's money. He wasn't just purchasing a shop, he was laying the first brick of his legacy. However, unexpectedly, the business was not the only thing that was about to change Ole's life forever. Ole Kirk married Christine Sørensen in 1916, and soon they started forming a big family. Meanwhile, the Billund Woodworking and Carpentry shop began growing steadily. In the 1920s, Ole's business grew from making small household items to taking on larger projects, including houses, buildings, and churches. Yet, despite the stable and simple life he had built, harder times loomed on the horizon. The 1929 Wall Street crash, though distant, sent shockwaves to Denmark. As global trade collapsed and import restrictions were imposed, the demand for Danish farm products vanished, and the Great Depression hit industries hard. Ole Kirk Christiansen's business, like many others, felt the impact.
We need to cut down on expenses, urgently.
I know, but I can't just turn my back on my employees. What are they going to do without this work?
I understand it's hard, but last month, revenue dropped by 60%, and this month's forecast looks even worse. The suppliers want their payments, and we're behind on the timber order. If we keep running at this loss, we'll run out of reserves in 3 months.
The situation for Ole was grim, but it was about to get a lot more dramatic.
Dad!
Godfred, what's wrong, son?
Mom fainted!
What? Don't worry, honey. The kids are gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Shortly after, Ole Kirk lost his wife, a loss that left him devastated and forced him to navigate life and his business without her. In an effort to comfort his children and himself during this difficult time, Ole began crafting small wooden toys for his kids. He hoped these simple creations would bring a smile to their faces and help them cope with their mother's passing. This act of love not only provided solace to his family, but also ignited a new passion within Ole.
Toys?
Yes, toys. That's what we'll do now.
But the world is in a huge economic depression.
Children are the future, and no matter how tough things get, a parent will always find a way to make their child smile. And trust me, I know that better than anyone.
Ole Kirk needed money to start his toy business, but the banks refused. Desperate, he turned to his siblings, but they all refused to help, except...
That didn't go so well.
No, it didn't.
So what now?
The toy line, it's my last chance to save the company.
You know, I still remember the first time I saw you work with wood. You were a natural. I'll act as your guarantor.
What? Are you sure? They are right, it's a lot of money. And for you alone, if I fail...
Then don't fail.
I won't.
So, you got a name for it? For your toy company?
The name Lego came from the Danish words leg godt, meaning play well. In 1935, Lego launched its first toys. Though not an instant success, Their quality and durability gained popularity as the Danish economy recovered. Ole was ready to take his next step.
We can't spend that amount right now.
I know it's a huge investment, but I'll pay it off. A milling machine will boost our productivity, make the toys safer, and raise the quality. More toys mean more money, and better quality means more customers.
By the late 1930s, Lego had become a recognizable name in Denmark. By 1939, it was producing more than 42,000 units of toys annually, from farm animals to miniature cars. Despite the success of his company, Ole remained in Billund, focusing on growing his factory rather than expanding. As Lego grew, Ole involved those who shared his vision, especially his third son, Gottfred, who became essential to the business.
We're done with the last batch of ducks.
Already?
Oh yeah, we found a new method. It saves us time and money.
That's great. How does it work?
We only use 2 coats of varnish instead of 3. It's basically the same, but it's faster and we waste less paint.
Fetch those ducks back. Every single one.
But
Unpack them, give them a final coat of paint, and pack them back up. And you'll do it on your own, even if it takes all night.
Dad, no one's going to notice the difference. It's good enough.
Son, engrave these words in your mind. Only the best is good enough.
Understood, Father.
Ole's commitment to quality made Lego one of Europe's leading toy makers. By the early 1940s, producing over 50,000 toys annually, Lego reached a value of over $20,000, around $340,000 today. However, the road to success is rarely smooth, and sometimes the obstacles that arise are truly catastrophic.
We need more water! More buckets! Fast!
The flames came swiftly like a wild, hungry beast. Walls that once stood firm now crumbled to ashes.
What now, Dad?
We start over.
But Ole wasn't done. His confidence remained unshaken, ready to rebuild. The manager hesitated.
Lego stands for quality, for innovation, for trust. Our customers know it, and they want more. With your help, we'll rebuild, bigger and better.
After receiving the loan from the bank, Ole and the Lego employees took it upon themselves to rebuild the factory. In record time, the factory was reborn, ready to bring Lego back to the world. Yet the challenges didn't stop there. With the outbreak of World War II, sourcing high-quality wood became nearly impossible. But, as always, Ole Kirk Christiansen saw a chance to turn a problem into an opportunity.
Plastic? But Ole, we've always prided ourselves on quality.
It will. Quality is still our priority, but times are changing. Plastic gives us endless possibilities. It's safer, faster, and more reliable. We'll find a way of doing quality plastic toys, you'll see. Everybody, welcome to the future!
While the transition was initially quite difficult, Lego gradually became a pioneer in using cellulose acetate as a raw material, leading the way for toy manufacturers to follow into the plastic era. By the late 1940s, Lego was producing over 200,000 plastic pieces each year and generating over 3 million Danish kroner in annual revenue, equivalent to about $500,000 at the time. By the mid-1950s, Lego was valued at 10 million Danish kroner, 1.6 million USD, producing 2.5 million toys annually with 140 employees. Ole's small woodworking shop had become a global empire. Although Ole never left his position in the company, as he grew old, he gradually entrusted more and more responsibility to his son Gottfred. But Gottfred had his own vision for Lego's future, a vision that would change everything.
Dad! I got it! You need to see this!
A tiny plastic brick?
This is the future of Lego.
I see it. This will allow children to design and create their own toys. The possibilities are endless. Revolutionary.
The development of the automatic binding brick became the cornerstone of Lego's system of play, which laid the foundation for the modern Lego building toy. By the late 1950s, Lego was producing over 4 million plastic bricks annually and generating sales exceeding 5 million Danish kroner. With distribution expanding across the globe, Lego's sales grew by double digits each year, setting the company apart from other toy manufacturers. Sadly, Ole Kirk Christiansen didn't live to see Lego's full rise. In 1958, at the age of 66, he passed away from cardiac arrest. Though Ole was gone, his vision continued through Gottfried, who led the company into a new era. By the 1960s, Lego was selling in over 40 countries, and by the 1970s, sales reached billions of units annually. Today, Lego has grown into a multi-billion-dollar global brand, reaching over 130 countries and inspiring millions. What began as a small and struggling woodworking shop had become one of the largest toy manufacturers in the world. Ole Kirk Christiansen's legacy lives on through the millions of people who have built and played with Lego over the decades.